Welcome to my city, welcome to my place, welcome to my zone, hello. Welcome to my city with beautiful people with smile on them face, hello. It's a rum thing, it's a rum thing. Run. Hashtag 0121 is a place friendly fire come from. Oh. It's a rum thing, it's a rum thing. It's a rum thing, it's a rum thing. North, this is south, this is east, this is west.
Jake Jarman rounding off this men's team final.
First twist in double back, and that confirms England will take the men's team gold medal.
What can this young man do here? Oh, absolutely massive. There is your all-around Commonwealth champion, Jake Jarman. Here is the golden boy from yesterday.
This is the final tumble for a gold medal. Well, I think it is.
There is your Commonwealth World champion.
Jake Jarman, you are a legend.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Birmingham. It's been a golden games so far for the golden boy, Jake Jarman. Already 3 golds to take home.
Yeah, I feel like I'm losing count at this point. But next up for Jake, the vault final, a discipline he excelled on his way to winning Sunday's all-around title.
And the good news, Holly, is that we haven't scared off Max or Beth. And double trouble today. Look at these two coming in on the last day of the gymnastics. Lovely to see you both. How are you doing? What a games it is for Jake.
Crazy, isn't it? I think it's unbelievable, and for all of them, like, everyone's doing an incredible job. To think that, you know, we're halfway through the apparatus finals. The men's team have got 3 goals in each of those pieces. If they can manage to do another thing the same and
no
clean
pressure,
the floor,
Max.
but the potential's there. We've got so many finals over the men's and women's,
Yeah.
and as a whole, literally need to keep that ball rolling because they're doing incredible.
And it's not easy, that, though. I mean, in some ways it can work to be a bit of a disadvantage, that kind of pressure, but it's something nice about winning golds. You just can't stop, can you, Max and Beth?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic atmosphere, and we've taken the full quota for Team England on. You can only have 2 per country, and they've literally taken all the spots that they can for today's finals. So, yeah, I think there'll be quite a few medals coming home for England today.
Can I just ask you, because we've been talking to Max over the last couple of days, about how big a star Jake can be. What do you think, Beth?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen him since he was younger, and I've seen a real difference at these games. He's always been a trickster. He's always had the big tricks there, ready to compete. It's not always necessarily come together at once, and he's maybe just taken the deductions on landings, whereas at this competition, you've really seen him hone in on cleaning those routines up, and that's when you start to make that difference from qualifying for finals to picking up medals.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at Jake's vault from the all-around final.
Yep. Yeah, here we go. So, honestly, he's natural talent, as we've been saying on this piece, but that vault is absolutely ridiculous.
You keep using that word, ridiculous.
Because it is. It's just unbelievable, and it's really hard to put into perspective how difficult that vault is. He's obviously going to be going for that today, I presume. We'll find out. But he's got the kind of advantage on the difficulty level today, so he just needs to land it the way he has been doing.
For most gymnasts, like, to put it into perspective, you wouldn't even be able to attempt it because it is just that difficult. I was trying to explain to my husband, and he was like, I get that it's difficult, but I still can't comprehend it. And I think the fact that only 2 or 3 gymnasts in the whole world are even performing it onto a level in a competition, but the fact that most gymnasts wouldn't even be able to try it into the soft pits, that kind of shows the difficulty of that vault.
And I think something else we've talked about so much is that the standard is so high. You know, he's doing this with such a... I mean, we look at the rest of the field there.
I know, it's going to be really, really strong. Again, today, we've seen it across all the apparatus, men's and women's, and it will be exactly the same today. There'll be some pieces where it'll be very close, especially as we move to the parallel bars and the high bar. They're always close pieces, and there'll be no difference today. So it'll be very exciting. Like Beth said, we've got English guys, two in each of the pieces, but home nations as well, really scattered around everywhere with Wales and Scotland in there a lot, which is very, very exciting.
I was so excited to get down to the gymnastics yesterday. The atmosphere was something else. The noise from Arena Birmingham, was insane. Stay with us, you two, and we'll be back with you very shortly because it is time for the final of the men's vault. So let's join our commentary team in that Arena Birmingham. Plenty of noise there with Christine Still, Craig Heap and Matt Baker.
Well, there's no Courtney Tulloch here due to injury, but yeah, all eyes are going to be on Jake Jarman to see if he can get that 4th gold of the games to go with the team, the floor and the all-around. Emil Barber will be first to the end of the vault runway. Now, Wales have never got a medal on vault. Emil just warming up here. Gymnasts get the opportunity just to feel the kit. There's a couple of different springboards they've got the choice of as well. Gymnasts here will get 2 vaults. They have to be different, and then the average will be taken, with the gymnast with the highest average taking gold on this event. And Craig, I mean, it's full of power. You're going to see these gymnasts thunder down the runway.
Absolutely, Matt, and welcome everybody. Yeah, we're in for a real final. We were so impressed with the power of these athletes yesterday in the floor final. You tend to have gymnasts which are good on the floor, good on the vault as well. Emil Barber from Wales, he really impressed us yesterday. He got a 4th, but Ewan McAteer from Northern Ireland, he's in with a shout, and he could take Northern Ireland's first vault medal. So
absolutely,
we're breaking a lot of records here at the gymnastics.
Well, we saw Jake do one of the hardest vaults in the world, Jake Jarman there, who's really launched himself onto the scene here at the Commonwealth Games. And we expect him to go difficult again. I mean, that's going to be the key. It's difficulty versus execution. How hard do you go and how well can you execute it? That's the key with vault. So first up will be the Welsh vault champion, and it looks as if the stage is now set. The first of 5 finals this afternoon in artistic gymnastics. 5th highest qualifier, the 22-year-old. He was just outside the medals on floor. Could this be his time? Emil Barber with the first of 2 vaults.
So powerful, so dynamic, launches up. Oh, and we had just seen him warm up so well, but he snatched off the top a little bit and just opened a fraction early and allowed himself to sit down. That's such a disappointment.
Well, he didn't hold back on the difficulty, going for a 5-2, Craig.
Yeah, big difficulty. You'll actually see a vault with a difficulty score of 6 in this. It's a huge field, and we have talked about the level of competition throughout the championships, and it's been so impressive. And this young gymnast is going to have a great future ahead of him. And the double front somersault is such a difficult vault to land because it's actually 2.5 somersaults from the hands, and you've got to open out at the precise time. So unfortunate start.
And it wasn't like he didn't have enough height, he just slightly mistimed that opening.
You can see all the chalk on his shins there just to get the extra grip to wrap the legs in and round. 12.9 for Emil's first vault. He'll get another vault, but just a reminder, it's the average of the 2, so it's not the highest scoring vault that goes. It's an average of both. And this one needs to be different to the first. But he's opting for the same difficulty of 5-2.
And you'll see he turns onto the platform. Oh, and very much the same problem. 2.5 twist, a massive vault, but he just didn't have quite enough rotation to get himself to his feet.
Well, what a shame for Emil. He's made his mark at these Commonwealth Games.
He certainly has, and I think the game plan, certainly with the gymnasts that have the lower tariff routines, what we've realised is they have to go immensely clean. That's the E deductions, which are from 10. So if you want to medal and you've got a slightly less difficult vault, you have to nail the landing precisely. And I think that's been his game plan. He's gone to nail the landings, and unfortunately, it's just not been his day, but he was fantastic on the floor, and he's played a real part in the team.
Emil Barber scores 13.033 as the average, 13.166 for the second vault. We're next to make his mark in the history books. Could Ewan McAteer get Northern Ireland's first ever Commonwealth Games vault medal? teammate Rhys McClenaghan, the only gymnast from Northern Ireland to medal at the Commonwealth Games. Here's Ewan's first.
Another 5.2. Oh, and that was much better. Plenty of height and flight on the 2.5 twist. It just seemed to pop off the top of the vault a little better. Solid start.
It's a very, very good form as well, and this is the key, Chris, with this vault. It's all in the execution. If the difficulty's down a bit.
Absolutely, look, his legs are locked together. You could see he really snapped well off the top of the platform to create the rotation. See the turn on, snaps his body to create rotation. Lovely style in the air. Arms out to steady that landing. That was a pretty impressive vault. And he'll be looking for a high execution score, a high E score. Keep your eyes on the screen when that flashes up.
Well, he's going to have to score somewhere over 14 if he wants to be in contention in this final. He posted 2 difficulty scores of 5.2. It is over 14. It's 14.2. It's a great start for Ewan McAteer. Now he needs to match that. Yep, he's going for a 5.2 difficulty again. So a lot of focus on execution here. Ewan McAteer with his second vault in this final.
Again, hugely powerful approach. Oh, what a shame, the handspring, double front somersault. And unfortunately, rather than kicking out at the right time, he just held on a little too long. Previous gymnast opened out too soon. He just didn't pop it out at the right time. Such a shame, because such a powerful gymnast.
He can be forgiven in a way for thinking, I'm not going to make that mistake of coming out early, but actually he didn't really ever come out of the tuck position at all, did he? And it's the kicking out of the tuck that slows the body down, getting ready to land. You see, he's tuck, 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 and keeps tucked. So his shoulders are in front of his feet when he lands, and that will be one hallmark deduction.
Well, this is one of the problems with the handspring double front somersault is we often see this gymnast under-rotating, sitting down, or giving it too much. And this is why a lot of them opt for the half turn out, because you can actually see the floor, and we'll probably see a couple of those.
Ewan McAteer scores an average of 13.75. Still a high score of 13.3 for the second vault with the hands down.
It had fabulous height.
Well, look at the difficulty score here. It's gone up now to 5.6 for James Bapetti from Australia. He qualified with the 4th highest score for this final. He's the Australian vault champion. He's got the power. Watch how fired up he gets and the speed that he can get down that runway, converting it up into the block.
Perfect running technique. Drives in, 2.5. And the half out, fantastic. Just like you were saying, Craig, he made the half turn out, he could see the floor, knew it was coming towards him, and made a good, clean landing.
Well, it's a big difficulty of 5.6 for the first one. He might go a little bit easier for the second vault and concentrate on the execution, but job done.
That was absolutely fantastic, and it just was the point I was making about the previous vault. If you can initiate that half turn, you can actually spot the floor and plant the feet down. However, the time it takes in training just to go from a double front to add the half turn is a lot of training. It's not just something you go, I'm going to whip a half turn in. And he did a double front somersault in qualification, and he's obviously decided, this is what I need to win a medal. And fantastic vaulting. Well done.
Really superb stuff. Chest down, that'll be a little deduction, but really impressive work.
14.466, it's the highest score so far. So let's have a look at the difficulty scoreboard to his left and see, oh, he's posting a 5.6, so he's upping his difficulty from qualification. He's got his eye on a medal, but this is not going to be easy to land.
So the 5.2 is 2.5 twist. This will mean he's going to attempt more than a 2.5 twist off the top. He can't go on just forwards like a handspring, he'll have to turn on, so it's a different vault. Here he comes, here's the turn, here's the snap, here's the 3 twists. Great vaulting. Deductions for the big step on landing, but really fantastic work.
Yeah, Jesse Moore there, clapping from the crowd. He's not going to be competing in these finals today. He's injured. But, well, James Boukwetti there, absolutely giving it everything with that second vault.
Well, actually, this is the vault that he did in qualification, much better than this, and he's changed. It was the first vault which he changed. He added the half turn. So for him, actually, this is the vault he prefers to perform, and he's obviously cheated himself up so much for that first vault. So he'll take a big deduction. You can see there, shoulders still twisting as he hits the floor, and once you're leaning that way, you have to take a step to the side. But it'll score well on the average. Probably still in first place.
14.283. That's the score to beat from James Boukwetti from Australia. Well, next to the end of the runway is the highest qualifier, Jake Jarman, British vault champion, and going for his 4th Commonwealth title of these games. Come on, Jake.
First vault, likely to be a forward entry. Watch this. Handspring, double front with the half turn. Huge vaulting.
Big vaulting indeed. I mean, it's not without deduction. A little bit tentative today.
Yes, he looked just a little bit, I wouldn't say exactly stressed. He's not a stressed sort of guy, but he looked like, wow, it is my 4th day of competition and I've got to really focus on this. Lovely, lovely vault. It was right down the middle, just that step on landing, but, well, look, from the top, the 2 somersaults, the half turn out, he spots the floor.
I mean, not too big a deduction, to be fair, on such a huge vault. I mean, the difference is it's higher than all the other vaults that we've seen, so you're allowed that deduction. And we were talking to Max yesterday, you've got the margin for error when you do something so difficult.
Well, it's a huge score of 14.633. Certainly the highest we've seen in this vault final. There's 4 gymnasts to go after Jake, and he's got another vault, but look at the difficulty. This is a difficulty of 6, so it's one of the hardest vaults in the world. Jake Jarman hoping to vault himself up onto the podium with vault number 2.
Well, he can twist, see if you can count these, wraps in. That is a 3.5 twist in the Sukahara. That will go into the lead without doubt, and probably secure his 4th gold of the games.
Well, that is without question the performance to beat. Jake Jarman looks like he's just vaulted himself on top of the Commonwealth.
Fantastic performance, and you could just see the sort of concentration in his face. Although it looks easy, it's not at all easy, and he knew he had to absolutely focus with every bit. He turns on, you see this lovely straight body he wraps in so well. 3.5 twists. That would be a high top score at Olympics or Worlds for sure.
And what he does with vaulting like that is he just puts everybody else under so much pressure, because they think, how on earth am I going to match that? And they push it and push it, and it all seems to go wrong. So he makes it look effortless.
Well, it was this vault that really won him the all-around title as well. When you've got one piece of apparatus that is probably a mark better than anyone else, you just have to be steady the rest of the way.
It's not only such a difficult vault, apart from that step to the side on landing, which will be a 0.1, the execution is phenomenal. In fact, that was a better executed vault than the first one. It was more difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got such natural style, hasn't he? He keeps his legs locked together, and because they're together, he can twist so fast.
15.2 for the second vault. It's the biggest score we've seen at the Commonwealth Games, gives him an average of 14.916. Jake Jarman is in the lead. Surely he cannot be beaten. Well, at the halfway mark, Jake Jarman leads James Boukwetti. Ewan McAteer for Northern Ireland at the moment in that third place spot, and Emil Barber in fourth. There's 4 gymnasts left to go, one of which is the second highest qualifier and one of which is the third highest qualifier. So the top 3 certainly aren't confirmed yet. I mean, the fizz around the arena after witnessing something like that, Chris.
Well, there's a great atmosphere in the arena already. Everything is really buzzing here. It's the final day of competition for the artistic gymnastics, and we've had wonderful display and wonderful participation from the audience, but they know they've seen something very special here today in that vaulting from Jake Jarman.
Well, if England could secure another gold medal, then they would go ahead of the record that they're currently tying Canada with, and that's 5 titles at the Commonwealth Games. That was back in 1990. So yeah, I mean, they're tying already to go ahead. I mean, what a performance we're seeing, actually, from all of the home nations here. But what an accolade that would be for that young man to be part of that, because the majority of the golds are his. Well, Gianni Regini Moran for England is next up. He's the second highest qualifier. He's ready to go. He got a bronze at the European Championships last year. And he also has a bronze from the floor final here.
Another super stylish gymnast, and he's upped that work. That was a fabulous twisting vault, so clean and tight.
Absolutely beautiful, and matching the difficulty of the hardest first vaults that we've seen here in this final.
Yeah, big vault from Gianni, another specialist twister. Just look at this, he wraps in. So hard to count the twists at normal speed, but with the slow motion you can count them from the top. He blocks. You've got to kick your feet into the vault to give you the rotation. 1, 2, and squeezes the third around. Execution should be right up there towards the 9s. You've got a gold with the team. Bronze on the floor. He'll be wanting a silver.
Well,
in a good stead.
He needs over 14.283 to go up into that silver medal position at the moment. Jake Jarman leads with an average score of 14.916. Ewan McAteer at the moment in third with 13.75. 14.8, very close to 15. Look at the execution at 9.2. Dropping the difficulty then, 5.2. So the maximum Gianni could score here is 15.2 if you add on the 10 for execution.
Well, he's so stylish and powerful. Handspring double front, and that is the way you land a double front somersault. He found that perfect moment to open out the tuck and plop onto the floor. Fantastic work, Gianni.
It was first class, and when you start to think, hang on a minute, you're going to push the difficulty, but you need to execute it well, I tell you what, this could be close.
Well, we've had 3 double fronts so far. We've had 1 under-rotated, we've had 1 over-rotated, and we've had 1 that landed absolute perfect. He blocks so well from the platform, he gets so much height. He's up there, he might as well clean the lights.
Now, where would you deduct from there?
Well, the judges could take a little bit around the separation of the legs, maybe in the double somersault. But, I mean, he had 9.2 for the first one. He'll be up in the 9s.
Well, it is his birthday today. 14.633 for Gianni. He goes into second at the moment, and that would be a wonderful birthday present. Everybody in the arena were just singing happy birthday to him, which was magic. Mohamed Sharul Aimi is next from Malaysia. Malaysia have never medalled on vault.
Come on, young man. Oh, he's got a good approach, wraps in. Another huge double front somersault. Just that little step on the landing. Seen a lot of double front somersaults in this final. It's good vaulting from Malaysia.
Very good. He's had a couple of victories, actually, in a World Cup circuit.
Well, again, fabulous height. And really a good landing, but the fact he was slightly offline and into that red zone will be a bit of a deduction for him. You can see he's off there. So 1 foot in the red zone and then steps right in. So that's where you lose the marks. But these guys are really vaulting magnificently.
And actually, if you look on the replay, he does tuck a little bit early on the flight on, and that's where the judges are taking deductions right from the springboard.
Well, there's just 0.283 between Gianni and Jake. Mohamed Shahrul scores 13.866 for the first vault.
The 0.3 penalty is for being in the red zone.
5.2 difficulty for the second vault. Focusing everything on execution here. 20-year-old.
Different approach, wraps in. Oh, well, what a shame. He did the 2.5 twist, such a very long vault. And then when he landed, it almost like the landing pad took him by surprise and his legs buckled a bit, but he didn't fall. Well done.
I don't think he's hurt. I think he's just very disappointed with himself. It was a really powerful, good vault. There you saw the legs a little bit apart and a little bit crossed here, but he just didn't have time to bring his arms into the landing position, and that's why he wasn't really able to steady himself. He landed with the arms still down by his side. You have to have had enough time to open out and make that landing.
Yeah, the judges are looking to make sure that whatever twist it is, it's fully completed by the time they hit the floor, and you could see his shoulders one way, legs the other. He did very well, actually, not to injure himself.
13.533. He's got an average of 13.699. He's in fifth. We've seen a lot of skills transferred from floor over to vault, and this lad here, Felix Dolce, he got a silver in the floor final here. Felix Dolce needs a score over 14.283 to get up into the medals at the moment.
Well, scurries in. Oh, and that's a very, very good landing. This guy absolutely knows where the floor is. When we saw his floor routine, he was faultless on landings. That wasn't the best vault in the air, but it was one of the best landings we've seen.
Well, he seems as cool as a cucumber, this guy. I mean, he landed that and just looked at his coach and giving him like a nonchalant nod of the head going, yep, I've done that one. I mean, look down the middle, no problem at all. We've had quite a few gymnasts twisting on landing and then having to step out, but he does. He absolutely knows where he is in the air. Maybe a little bit of loss of form in the legs, but...
he really does bring those arms forwards in with a very positive intent, doesn't he, Craig? Out, land. He sort of goes for the shape almost before the floor appears.
Well, traditionally, Canada have the most medals on this piece of apparatus. So, following form here, Felix Dolce. He was the third highest qualifier. And if he can nail that kind of execution with the second vault, then there's no doubt about it, he's going to challenge. 14.566. It's a big score. Gianni currently has 14.633 as an average. Vault number 2 is a 5.2 difficulty. Second vault for Felix Dolce.
The handspring on, the double front. Oh, he went for the same good landing, but he didn't quite have that same amount of rotation.
Well, what a shame for Felix Dolce. There's still one more gymnast to go in this vault final. But I think Felix knows that will not challenge, and it certainly won't threaten those two. Jake Jarman leads this men's vault final ahead of Gianni Regini Moran and James Becquetti in third. 1 to go.
Well, what a shame there, because in the warm-up, he nailed it, no problem at all. You see, the 2.5, again, he knew that he had to stick the landing, so he was going for perfection, and unfortunately sometimes it works, but this gymnast has been superb to watch and follow, and we can't wait to see him in the World Championships later this year, because he's definitely one to watch.
Well, he's been there or thereabouts in so many finals. 13, 8, 9, 9. Dolce's in 4th. The last gymnast in this men's vault final with a difficulty of 4.8 for the first vault is Samuel Dick.
Oh, good solid first vault. The handspring straight front with the 1.5 twist. Again, good clean vaulting. Not the highest difficulty we've seen, but performed very well.
Well, he hammered down the runway, and he was in the vault final. Very strong gymnast, and you could see that block there.
Really good technique. New Zealand have impressed me really with their style and really classy technique. You see, blocks up, wraps in, chest up nicely on landing. But you need that execution and the high difficulty score if you want to medal in this competition.
It's such a difficult vault going forward with the handspring, Christine, isn't it, to generate the power from the springboard?
It is, and he really uses the front of the platform well. It's sprung, the front of the platform.
13.9, the vault number 1 for Samuel Dick. Up in the difficulty, 5.2 for this one.
So he'll need a different approach onto the table. The handspring, double front somersault. Just a little bit low on the landing, but 2 solid vaults.
Yeah, he snatched it a little bit from the front of the platform. Just tucked a little bit early. And actually that will be a fall. He sat down as his feet touched. And you could see in that slow motion that he really did tuck before his feet got over the platform very early, so that'll be a deduction as well.
Also as well, if they took a little bit too soon, it can slow the rotation down. It looked like he just lost a bit of rotation.
13.783 puts Samuel Dick in 5th. So there's confirmation that Jake Jarman is the Commonwealth Vault champion. It's title number 4 for the 20-year-old. Absolutely incredible from that young man. And Gianni Regini Moran, he takes the silver medal on his birthday. Jake Jarman, gold team, gold floor, gold all around. Now gold on vault. What a champion. And there is the man who takes the bronze medal, James Baquetti. But what a birthday Gianni is having. He's going to be back out in the arena very shortly for the parallel bars final. So he'll enjoy this moment, then he'll just have to refocus. But Jake Jarman taking everything in his stride here. And that's the results of the men's vault final. Jake Jarman takes gold, Gianni Regini Moran the silver, and James Baquetti the bronze.
This is just incredible, Beth and Max. What a games this boy's having.
I know, well, that's his last piece now, so he's actually going to let someone else have a go. Every final he's been in, he's won.
He needs his own medal table, doesn't he?
4 gold medals at 20 is just incredible. But yeah, also a shout out to Gianni. It's his birthday, and picking up that silver. He's got one of one of each as well. So, I mean, just the Team England boys team are just having an amazing championships.
Yeah, they've done incredible, and I think you saw from that vaulting final there how high level they're doing. What they're doing is so clean, it's perfect, it's great, it's executed well. Obviously, amazing job for both of them. Gianni's still got one more piece, one more apparatus final to go, so there's still more to come.
Just looking at Jake's vaults there, and both of them, technically, when you compare that to the all-around final, you said that was ridiculous. How do you compare? How do you compare this?
This is actually even better. Obviously, that vault there was, that was his first vault. Slightly down on the landing there, so he had obviously those 2 steps there, which was a shame, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because his second vault backs up it. Legs slightly apart there, which you can deduct, and the landing there. But overall, the power, the way he does it, it just does it with ease, and it's such a difficult vault as well. The double front with half turn, that's what it is. It's huge.
Because that's what we've been talking about an awful lot here, the fact that very few people, if any, can do what he does. Yeah,
his second vault, the 3.5 twist, I don't know if there's actually any other gymnast in the world doing it right now. I think he might be the only one, but there's only ever been maybe 2 or 3 that have ever done it. And that's the crazy thing, and there it is. And actually, for me, I know the landing was slightly off to the side and stepped out the lines, but actually the vault in itself, if you look at his legs here, like that, locked together, no deduction in the air, is almost so hard for any gymnast to do, because a lot of gymnasts, when they're twisting, especially when you do multiple twists, like 3.5 twists, your legs, with the force, your legs tend to cross over. But his are glued together. It's amazing.
I think the fact that for us, ideal is to land on that red line that's in the middle. Now, normally when you do twisting vaults, the more twisting you do, you tend to veer off to the side. And the fact that, like Max is saying, he's doing 3.5, and when he's landing, his feet are smack bang on that red line. Yes, he does take the step to the side, but I think we'll give him that with the calibre of vault.
Technically, he is absolutely spot on in every single aspect of that vault, which is amazing.
And often in sport, we talk about the technical side, but also we talk about the natural ability. Now, are we saying then, Beth, that many other gymnasts will attempt to be coached in that, whereas with Jake, it is just a genius, it's a natural flair?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a natural spatial awareness. You do find various gymnasts, you don't have to teach them to know how many twists they've done. He just naturally does it. Whether he's on the trampoline, whether he's on the floor, whether he's on the vault, he can spot whether he's doing a half twist, a full twist, all the way through to 3.5, 4. And there's some stuff you can't coach, and he's just got that natural spatial awareness, and then the coaching element for him is how to control that power. Where is it that we can help him, or I say we, not me, his coaches, his coaches, how do they help him when he goes into competition and he's got all of that adrenaline and all the crowd behind him? What do they have to do to help him control that power then? And at this championships, he's really controlled it, and that's the thing that's impressed me the most about him.
And the one thing we just can't forget is the fact that he is just 20 years old. Max, what's that like to step out on an international stage like this in front of that crowd at that age?
It's really difficult, and I think he's taken it all within his own stride. I think his mindset and his mentality towards it is spot on in terms of he's young, he's going, he's trying his best, he's being in an experience where he's just taking everything in, enjoying what he's doing and loving every minute of it. It's difficult as well. I think we've got to take into consideration that the past 2 years there's been a lack of competitions, which would have had a huge knock-on effect to so many athletes, including Jake, because the lack of competitions is lack of experience, and you need competitions regularly to be comfortable in those environments, and we haven't had that. So to go out there with that confidence at that age, compete like he done, incredible.
That's a really good point, actually, in a kind of post-COVID environment, the effect it has on athletes, Beth.
I think it's the crowd as well. I mean, last year they did start to compete. This year's the first year they've been in stadiums. At Nationals in March was the first time they'd had a proper crowd, and they did comment on how nice it was. But to go from absolutely no one to a home games with that absolute roar, it's really great that they've actually had that here, because we've got our World Championships in Liverpool in October, and that's our qualification starting for Paris 2024. So it gives them that insight into what the Worlds will be in October.
And a very happy birthday to Gianni Regini Moran. I bet you that was on his birthday list, a silver medal for him.
His vaults were, 100%, obviously happy birthday to Gianni, but I think these vaults here, Technically as well, I think it just shows how ready they are for this competition. The preparation in terms of being ready would have been spot on. If you're able to perform vaults like that, you're getting everything nailed. The cleanliness of it, the landing for both of his vaults as well. We saw a lot of falls in this final because vault is so difficult and it's literally hit or miss, and he hit both of them spot on.
And he knew it as well, his reaction. You know, straight away he knew, I've nailed it.
They're the 2 vaults that you'll want on your birthday, and he's obviously picked up a silver medal here, and like I said, he's got PWAD to come, and that is one of his strongest pieces, so hopefully we can see some great things in there.
Here's the question I've always wanted to ask. Do gymnasts have birthday cake on their birthday?
Yeah.
I can't believe I've just asked that question on live television. But hey, it's the first thing that came to my mind.
I think there'll be a lot of celebrations, obviously, last night of gymnastics today. So I think there'll be a few celebrations within the Team England camp later on.
Yeah, what a Commonwealth Games this has been for Team England. Absolutely dominant. Let's just take a look at this medal table. Wow, 8 gold medals. I mean, Jake had a lot to do with that, obviously. Alone, he could have his own place on that medal table.
We need to put Jake on that medal table, don't we?
But yeah, phenomenal. What does that say about the state of Team England at the minute?
I think it shows where we've been and where we are now. I think it says a lot for the future. I think we've got really young prospects like we saw in Jake, but I think it's really, really exciting on where we're going and how we're pushing the boundaries. Sorry, and then the home nations knuckling in all together. I think, you know, as a nation all together, GB, we're very, very strong at gymnastics now, which is a very nice place to be in. You know, when you look at it a long time ago, we wasn't up there, but we are now, and, you know, results keep rolling in and keep inspiring the next generations to push and produce even more. So, you know, the next 10, 20 years, hopefully we can see the success continue and even keep on rising.
Well, it's been great to watch. We've loved every minute of it, and of course there's more to come as well.
Yep.
To Max and to Beth, thank you so much. Beth, we'll see you a little bit later on.
Well, yeah.
Won't we? Enjoy. Thank you. Let's have a quick look at what's been going on elsewhere, though. It has been a busy day because over at Edgbaston, England take on South Africa in the Cricket T20. Alex Capsey scored a half-century as England went on to reach 167 in their innings, with South Africa hunting them down. Get that over on the iPlayer.
Yep, also live boxing at the NEC, the men's welterweight division currently being contested.
Yeah, busy day. Let's just take a quick look at the headlines on day 5. And Wales have won their 2nd gold medal of the Games thanks to Jared Breen and Daniel Salmon winning the lawn bowls men's pairs title. They beat England 19-18 in the bronze match. Alex Taddy Marshall retook his title as Scotland's most successful Commonwealth athlete, winning his 7th medal.
Love that headline, great bowls of fire. England's Keely Hodgkinson and Alexandra Bell, along with Scotland's Laura Muir, through to the 800 metres final. Muir's teammate Gemma Reekie missed out after clipping Australia's Catriona Bissett in her heat.
And Katarina Johnson-Thompson leads the way in the heptathlon after this morning's session, following, well, a disappointing time by her standards in the 100-metre hurdles. She put herself in front with a high jump of 184 metres.
Right, we're out of time here on BBC Two, but the gymnastics continues on BBC One with Hazel. Max is leaving us because he's doing some sport relief table tennis. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Gonna enjoy that. But from all the team here, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day.